The Brotherhood of Firefighters was, of course, shattered by the events of that day. Thousands of them, some of them off-duty, some retired, responded to the attacks in Lower Manhattan. More than 300 firefighters went into those buildings and never came out. It was the worst loss of life in the history of firefighting and this country. And it has led subsequently and will ultimately mean some significant changes in the way firemen do their jobs. Here's a report from ABC's John MacKenzie.
Tommy Dunn had been a New York City firefighter for less than a year. He was assigned to this firehouse in Brooklyn, 5 miles from the World Trade Center. On the morning of September the 11th, Dunn had just returned from an EMS run.
Say about 8:50, about 8:50 everything. Started to get a little crazy, and a couple guys in the back in the kitchen yelled up, said, "Tommy, turn on the TV." You know, so I switched it on. It's like, oh, wow, some job. So you start getting real nervous, start getting anxious. You double, triple check your gear, everything on the rig, you're ready to go.
And with many more firefighters than usual.
It was exactly at the change of tours. It was 10 minutes before the change of tours. So we had the on-duty platoon in the firehouse and the oncoming platoon in the firehouse.
Harry Myers is an assistant chief.
A rig that normally would have went out with 5 people on it now had 8 or 10 people on it. So we had a double response.
An unprecedented response from firehouses throughout the city.
Attention, 68 engines, 35 engines, 50 engines. I owe you 7 more engines. We're in the process. I advise all units to go to direct. Quiet, let me talk. Center, clear the air. 26 stand by, man. The field comes. 86 to Manhattan, urgent.
You're basically at the foot of the towers, and you're looking up, and that's when it hits you. You know, that's when you realize the magnitude of the fire, and that it's more like a war zone than a fire.
It is now 9:50, 1 hour since the planes crashed into the Twin Towers. The most senior chiefs in the fire department have set up a command post at the base of the towers, assessing the damage and directing firefighters up into the burning buildings, as everyone else is heading down.
People were pretty orderly, considering what was going on.
Lieutenant Mickey Cross is a 25-year veteran in the department.
They stayed on the outside, coming down, and they were encouraging us, you know, they were offering us water, and we were encouraging them to keep, you know, keep moving, you're doing great, you're doing great. And this went on, and we would stop about every 5 floors or so, take a little breather, because the guys were carrying up a lot of equipment.
Cross led his company of 5 men to the 22nd floor of the North Tower. Just as they arrived, the adjacent South Tower began to fall, and Tommy Dunn, the rookie, was walking directly towards it.
And you heard it. You basically heard it, and you looked up, and I could very clearly see that the entire top section of the tower had begun to collapse and was falling on us. Everyone just started hitting and tapping each other. Let's go, let's run, let's get out of here. And everyone separated, scattered, ran. I had maybe 8 to 10 seconds of running time, and then it overtook you. I fell down. I don't remember ever stopping. Everybody was, you know, they were crying. Everybody was already beginning to gag and cough from the debris in the air. I basically just cursed. I don't remember thinking anything. I was just, you know, I know you can't say it on TV, but I was just cursing over and over again, you know, the F word. Just because I didn't know what else to do, you know. You were just so overwhelmed by everything going on around you.
With the South Tower down, firefighters inside the North Tower have been ordered to evacuate. Some later complained that they never got the order, that their radios were not working. Mickey Cross, now on the 23rd floor of the North Tower, began heading down that crowded staircase. He made it as far as the 4th floor.
And then it started. And then I started getting hit with things. And it was very loud, there was very loud noises, and I started getting bing bang, and I thought, well, this is it. And I remember thinking, I just hope this is going to be fast. And then all of a sudden there was silence. There was no more noise, no more wind. total silence. It was so quiet. And here I was in this position. Now I was kind of partially buried. And I think like I'm the only person left alive. And then I started hearing noises, you know, movement. You know, guys are moaning. I remember one guy saying, "Oh, my head hurts," you know. But there were other people alive.
14 people trapped together under a mountain of rubble.
Engine 24 transmitted a mayday in a promenade to have firefighters trapped. We believe there are numerous members trapped in the vicinity of the west side of that building.
The maydays are going out and we're getting responding, so we know people are looking for us. So we started getting a little hopeful.
But above them, the rescue effort was in shambles.
The radios were full of maydays, full of people that were trapped, needed help, didn't know where they were. They couldn't give locations. They're saying, "Yeah, I'm on the 3rd floor, or I'm in the lobby of the hotel," but you know, where is it? You know, nobody knew, and the towers were gone.
Gone too were the men who were supposed to coordinate the rescue.
I don't think there was an overall command at that point. Most of the command, you know, the top-level chiefs, Chief Gansey, the chief of department, Chief Burns, who's a citywide tour commander, Chief Barber, who's a citywide tour commander, they were all killed in the collapses. It was just a chaotic situation. It was organized chaos, but it was chaos.
Mickey Cross and the others trapped with him did not wait for help. They crawled and climbed up a patchwork of beams, following a sliver of light. It took 3.5 hours, but finally they were free, standing on top of what was a 110-story skyscraper.
I don't remember feeling lucky. I don't remember feeling angry. I just kind of very confused, you know, like sort of like, what do I do now?
Gradually, many firefighters made their way back to their firehouses that evening and began to learn just how much they had lost at Ground Zero. A total of 343 men.
Something wasn't right. There's no way there were this many guys missing. And when you come through and you see, you know, guys that were your best friends, you know, names appearing on that list, it's almost not real. It's almost like a dream. Like, this can't be happening, you know. Jimmy Coyle, Joe Henry, Mike Keefe, these guys are animals, you know. They can't die. Come on, they're above that, you know.
The next day, at firehouses across the city, New Yorkers began creating makeshift shrines to the fallen firefighters. They came with candles and flowers and hugs, lots of hugs. They started books of condolences, the messages inside, the same as those plastered on the walls.
When we really needed them to be there, they just sacrificed their life for us. They walked into the battlefield and they didn't think twice.
Thank you so much.
Since the attack, the New York Fire Department has identified needed changes in equipment and procedures in the event of a similar disaster, using better, more reliable radios to communicate with firefighters, keeping some top-level command staff at headquarters so the entire leadership is not in jeopardy, and restricting the number of off-duty firefighters at the scene. But some things will not change.
The New York City Fire Department will never be in the business of telling people, if you're in a building and you're in trouble, we're not going to come and get you. We will try and evacuate the building as quickly as possible, with as few people as possible, but we will do what is necessary to protect the citizens of the city.
A report from John MacKenzie on that particular day. John Miller, you mentioned a fact about the department that I've forgotten.
Well, it was that day, 60 of the 343 firefighters weren't even working. They were off duty. It came so close to shift change, they heard it on the radios in their cars or at their homes, and they turned around and they went to the scene on their own time.
Which takes me, thank you very much, to Dennis Smith, the